Does that mean that every single person on that board needs to have that same level of engagement or the same accountability? Does it mean that there needs to be a few key people that have that the right level of engagement or accountability? Because we have seen time after time after time the phenomena that you've described, that it becomes kind of a casual investment of my time, or really a casual commitment of accomplishment, as opposed to this is really embedded in my soul that I'm going to make this my professional mission to be accountable for the results of this, because truth be known, the board of directors is responsible, have a fiduciary
Absolutely.
responsibility to the success of the business.
They, depending on the size of your board, from my perspective, I think is what's crucial is that, say if you've got 40 people on a board,
How many?
40, which is kind of
that sounds like a party.
which is an unmanageable.
Right.
But
That's almost a
depending
community
upon,
board.
Yes, and depending upon what the organization or the business is that you may need that to get into all the different areas.
Right. That's actually
to
part of your
touch.
business strategy.
Yes, is that you want to be able to touch all those folks. So, but then a determination is made: is that the best way to do it, or at some point you start sitting on some of those boards as the executive,
Right.
To bring that information back?
Well, interestingly enough, in the Country Club of Lansing, they talked about having a lot of committees for a lot of things and what happens with so many lateral committees is there's no unified vision.
Right.
And then we got committees going dysfunctionally from what other committees are, and so we have no synchronization of energy towards a common goal. What you're describing is that there may be synchronization, that directors are expected to help achieve some sort of sales result or some sort of contribution financially. So we have community involvement, but what tends to happen when that's going on is who are the key people overseeing the operational side of the business to make sure the accountability internally is taking place. Now, we know we don't want boards to micromanage, but we don't want them to be aloof to the realities of what's happening either. Where's that fine line?
Right, and sometimes with a large board like that, it's
Well, they can't.
there's just no way. I mean, from an executive's position, there's no way they can talk. I mean, if they talk to one a day, they still wouldn't get through them every month. So it's unmanageable. So, but as a board member, there is a responsibility to know what's going on with the organization, and when they get their board packets, to read that information. If they have questions, it's so easy now with email to do a periodic update, whether it's once a week or once every 2 weeks, and just hit some bullet points on what the organization is doing. And I really feel that it's the director's responsibility too. As they sit on that board, they ought to know what's going on, both internally and financially, and the perception of what the organization is within the community. And if there is some issues, they need to be aware of that to take it back to the managers.
As you've evaluated all the boards of directors in all sorts of different companies, both successful and unsuccessful, for-profit and not-for-profit, and casual, and all of these different areas, would you say that in most cases, and actually it's probably a high percentage of the cases, most boards of directors would be well invested to spend some time on board of director training?
Oh yes. And I think it's up to the executive, and a strong executive, whether it's every 2 years do a retreat for a day or so, but be that part of not only their quarterly or monthly board meetings, but they're committed to doing that. Absolutely, it's important. Sometimes, especially depending upon the size of the organization or what the organization is, they may only see the rest of the group once a month. They don't know those people, and you need to develop a relationship.
Yes,
with them.
talk for a minute about how important that board of directors team is to the success of an entity.
But yeah, they have to be comfortable, in their own boardroom. They may not be hesitant to speak out on a topic. When you're in a room of your peers, just like all of us, I think that there may be some hesitancy to go against a certain way a discussion is going and speak up. And I think that sometimes some training to respectfully disagree with someone,
or respectfully bring up your own opinion,
or to bring up your own opinion. Absolutely, is how,
isn't that
how
why
do you
they're
do
there?
That? That's certainly why I would think they would be there.